Hey guys, Caleb's Cards here. Come at you with another World War II TTM autograph binder showcase. We are moving along here. We're going to be showing um, mostly pilots and crew members. I call them the soldiers of the air. So I made this printout. I wanted it to be bigger. Perhaps in the future we'll try that. But for now it's just kind of a cool looking marker. So I took some time going through just to write down the names and make sure I got everybody some quick info about them. Let's go ahead and take a look at this next segment of this pretty awesome binder. So we started off with Mr. Abner M. Ost. He is the last flying ace of World War II. He also served in Korea and Vietnam. So he has a long list of service time and highly decorated. And the next one is Stephen Pisanos. He was a fighter pilot, and he actually also flew missions for the UK. We got Wayne L Coleman, who was a P-47 and P-51 pilot. This is Mr. James K. Kunkel, who has a pretty interesting story. He was a P-38 Lightning fighter pilot. And we actually, the day that we got this in, I actually read that and typed it all up in the comments for you. So if you wanted, way long time ago, back in 2015. Then we got Mr. Harry H. Selling. He was a B-17 bomber pilot and was actually a prisoner of war for 9 months. Then we got Mr. George G. Loving, who was a flying ace for the U.S. Air Force. And then we got some more photos here that Mr. Abner Ost sent me. Really awesome guy. Yeah, he usually does that. I think he's still alive. He's in his about 95 or 96 now. I wrote him a couple years ago, and I actually gave him he had a Subway near him, so I gave him a gift card to Subway for his generosity. So hopefully he was able to use that, or somebody was at least able to go get it for him. We got Mr. David F. Thwaites, who's a P-47 Thunderbolt pilot. I think we'll get more from him later on. These are kind of out of order. That's from Art Fiedler. He's an ace. As well as Donald Mcpherson here. There's a letter from him. Just a little extra. He was a Hellcat fighter pilot. We got a letter from William Moore. And then an extra from Leroy Robinson, who was also a Hellcat pilot. So this one's going to be Fred Dungan, who's a flying ace for the U.S. Navy. Kenneth Lake, who's a flying ace. I think that's Captain something R. Bear. I'd have to double check that one. That was for the Hit the Deck contest a long time ago. Donald Mcpherson, there's the card that he signed. Harold Crispy, he was a B-29, or he was on the B-29, part of, also known as Little Gem, his particular crew. This is David J. Thatcher, who was actually part of Doolittle's Raiders crew. Captain Doolittle, who bombed Tokyo. This is James F. Luma. He's the only Mosquito ace, which I believe was a type of plane, but he's the only one of that. We got Martin R. Angler Jr., who is a U.S. Air Force pilot. This is going to be Lester Rasmuth, who was a U.S. Air Force pilot, and he also served in Korea. This is Archie Maltby, who was a part of D-Day and Air Force pilot. This is Anthony Orsini, who's on the B-24, He was actually shot down over Ploesti. Perry Dahl, who was an air ace. Charles Miller, who was a B-17 crew member. He couldn't sign his name too well, but that perfectly fine with me. And then, actually that's on the next page. We've got Elmo Wojan, who is on USS Hornet. He's also in the Doolittle raid, and he survived the sinking of the Hornet. This is Russell Gackenbach, who was a navigator on a B-29 Superfortress, known as the Necessary Evil. And this one's going to be Stephen Losonsky. Or I guess he has it signed as Frank. The business card on the back says Stephen. Maybe I messed up there. And flip the paper I got here. That's David F. Waits. That's the card he signed. And we saw the picture earlier of his plane. That's Art Fiedler, who we had the letter of. This is Jerry O'Keefe. He is a United States Marine Corps ace. I think he's the only Marine Corps ace that I have. Leslie C. Smith, who's a fighter ace in Zemke's Wolfpack. This is Lynn Jones, who's a fighter ace with the Flying Tigers. A very popular, well-known World War II ace or fighter jets. Flying Tigers. This is Richard E. Cole. He was the co-pilot to Captain Jimmy Doolittle in the Doolittle raid. He was the last surviving member of that, and I think he passed away about 3 years ago, so he was like 102 or 103. Charles C. Patillo was a flying ace. James E. Duffy is a flying ace for the U.S. Navy. And this is Leroy Robinson, who we saw, Hellcat fighter pilot and ace, I believe, who sent that extra photo. He actually died soon after I got back from him, which was kind of sad. We got Lewis Heron, who's a crew member on a bomber. I did not have any details on that one. George Lentz, who's also a crew member on a bomber, known as Vans Valiants in their group. Clemente Leone, who was a radio operator on the B-24, known as the Wacky Donald. This is Roland Pepin, who is a B-24 navigator. And this is Phil Hull Sr., who's a crew member also on a bomber that I don't have details on. And this one's going to be Louis Breckenridge, who's a crew member on a bomber as well. And that's an extra from Abner Ost. So there's Robert Thatcher. Or Thacker, I'm sorry, Robert Thacker. He was a test pilot. This is Earl T Williams. He was the first he was the first in this particular aircraft to get shot down in the war. But he did survive. And then this is Dean Laird. He is a Navy ace. He signed an old Hewitt Grass Custom. This is a note. He wasn't really able to sign the photos, so he just kind of wrote a note and just signed his first name, William Strahan. We got John T. Wolfe, who was an ace, and John Zink, who was a Navy ace. We got Tillman or Tilly Poole. He signed, technically, he did cross out Medal of Honor, but he was still willing to sign. At the time, I really wish I wouldn't have sent him, but since all I had all these Medal of Honor photos. I still have a couple, I think, actually. But I didn't know who else to send them to, so. We got Frank McCauley, fighter pilot. Major Frank McCall. And this is Gail Halverson. He's known as the Candy Bomber. He dropped candy for children in London after the bombings, just to kind of raise morale, give them some food to eat. Raise your spirits. Francis Ferry. He'll take down the Yamato. You can see there it says received the Navy Cross for co-leading the team that took down the Japanese warship Yamato, the heaviest battleship ever constructed. Ferry also received a Silver Star, 2 Distinguished Flying Crosses, and 5 Air Medals. And this one is Dean Caswell. I think he signed the back, which we'll flip to in a little bit. And this was a gift from Michael Rhodes, Ben Kuroki. So there's Dean Caswell. This is Sam Mcgee. He's a fighter ace. One of the first ones I got back. And one of the first ones to send extras. This is Hamilton Hunter. He did sign the back of this one. It's a picture of a B-29 Superfortress. This is Captain Bill Anderson. This was a gift from Chris Jones that he got me. Or Clarence Anderson, you also know. This was the second time writing to Abner Ost, so he included some more photos. Some went to Garrett. I think he actually sent some for Garrett and then some specifically for me, which was cool. This is a picture of a B-17 Bombardier. That's Charles Stevens who signed. He signed the back and the front, I think. This was a purchase not too long ago. Bill Overton, I think it was, or Overstreet. He was kind of like known as a crazy pilot. He literally chased a Nazi fighter jet through the Eiffel Tower. So he was quite a daredevil. So there's the Charles Stevens. And finally, we have Mr. Bob Buckler, who was on the Veterans Breakfast Club. And he was a B-17 tail gunner. So the next segment, we'll be covering the Tuskegee Airmen, which should be fun. So there's not a whole lot I have, but still cool one to go over. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate all the support on the series, and let me know what you think so far. See you guys all next episode. Bye.